Someone has obviously seen way too many Hitchcock films and loves Rear Window way too much. Basically just remake Rear Window. I think they filmed this back in like 2018. And you can tell. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Mr. Teach Film Preach. And if you're a lover of films like I am, and if you learn from films as much as I do, then you are in the right place. And if you're in the right place, click like down below and subscribe. That would be wonderful. I would so appreciate it. And I would love to even know more. What did you guys think about this film? Did you love The Woman in the Window? I would love to hear your thoughts about this movie, specifically because I still don't know really what to make of it. Let's jump into this review. Today we are talking about the psychological thriller movie called The Woman in the Window. This is a film based off of the book about a woman who has agoraphobia, the fear of the outside world, of leaving her house, something that's gone on in her past, and we're not sure what it is for a while. She doesn't have anything else to do in her life. She's just looking at the outside world through her window. Sounds a lot like Rear Window. This psychiatrist, Dr. Anna Fox, looking out through her windows and sees this family across the street who there is a father played by Gary Oldman, a wife played by Julianne Moore, and a son, and witnesses a crime that she doesn't know what to do with this information. In the meantime, she is heavily medicated, drinking, she is not in a good state of mind, so she's an unreliable narrator as well, on top of everything. Then she has a tenant who lives downstairs that is got a strange relationship with her, helps her out, but he's got some crazy background stuff. At the same time, she's got police coming in and out of her house randomly, people just popping up and showing up whenever to have conversations with her. We're led to believe that a lot of this is probably in her mind, and it was super confusing. I think that's what frustrated me the most about this film, was that Joe Wright, the director, had all these rules and things established with this film, and then he kept breaking his rules and then would kind of muddled it again and kind of flip back and forth. He wants the audience to think this is all in her head, but it doesn't end up being that, and then he doesn't ever justify, oh no, that's not why, and nothing is really makes sense, and nothing is really explained. Even though they talk a lot in this movie and they say things, like this movie's very dialogue focused. They don't really ever show us anything. They tell us things. They have characters who are talking about stuff. And I think that's one of the drawbacks of this film, is that you're just like, whoa, way too much on the dialogue. Way too much people just talking back and forth, having conversations. It was just a muddled mess. It just felt like it was being juggled way too much. I feel like there is a good version of this movie, but maybe the editing kind of changed Joe Wright's vision, or maybe the story he was trying to tell. I know there's people online already saying, like, release the Joe Wright cut, and I find that his style of filmmaking really fits a certain style of movie. Let me give you an example. Atonement and The Darkest Hour, both set during World War II. This British societal look at with war and history. I think how Joe Wright directs movies and the vision and the tone to his films really help and support and bring to life those films. But when you get other movies like The Soloist, Pan, and this movie, I just don't think he knows how to handle the material. Way too much dialogue in this movie. There's so much talking and random scenes that it just doesn't work for this psychological thriller. Obsessed with Rear Window, obviously, because this whole movie is just an homage to that. Kind of Alfred Hitchcock in general. There's a little bit of Psycho in there. But is definitely heavily influenced by Rear Window. So already I'm kind of rooting against this film because it's a cheap knockoff version of Rear Window. And Rear Window is amazing masterpiece and handled so much better and so well. And the story, this character, I didn't have a lot of sympathy for her. I wasn't really on her side. I think because they made her so crazy seeming and out of her mind, and so it was hard for me to grasp onto her character and get along for the ride with her, because the whole time I was kind of just going like, what is it? So this is all in her head, and then it turns out that that might not be the case. I'm like, what? This movie, no. This movie was trying to present it one way, but just kidding, it's this way. But no, actually, really, it is this way, and it just didn't have a really strong footing on what it was trying to say, how it was trying to say what it wanted to, and it just became a muddled mess. Same with the detectives. They seem unreliable and sort of like characters that aren't really there, but they are. But the conversations that they have aren't, and I know that's what the director's trying to do, is muddle reality and what is real and hallucinations and is she telling the truth. But then it makes it hard for the audience, for us to connect with this character and care about the trials and tribulations that she is going through. And so it pulls us out of the film. By the time we get to the end and there's the reveal and there's the surprise and we figure out what's going on and there's these killing and it's revealed, by the time we get there, it's kind of too little too late. The damage has already been done for the first hour and 15-20 minutes, and then the last 10-11 minutes of the film doesn't save a movie. It's a sort of a story that didn't really need to be told. There was no urgency to this film. There was no reason for a production like this. It felt empty, even though they were trying to put so much emotion and tragedy and heartbreak into this film. It just sort of like meh, and just kind of petered out. The plot was weak at best. Surprises weren't enough to save this film in the end. Maybe that's where Joe Wright had a vision. There's a great film on the editing room floor, but it's just not the film that we ended up getting to see. And Joe Wright's direction didn't really add anything to this film. It wasn't really solid on its foundation. You got to make it somewhat visually appealing, and it just was kind of bland. The movie was dark and dreary, and because she's a shut-in, she's always like hiding in her rooms, and there's all these dark lighting, and it was just not even a good movie to look at. This to me is a sort of bottom of the barrel psychological thriller film. If you look at something like Psycho or Rear Window, which it wanted to be, those movies are amazing in the way that they build their tension, in the way that they subvert our expectations and kind of break the rules and break the genre. This film tried and kept trying, and it just didn't amount to anything overall in the end. The execution just wasn't quite there. I'm gonna have to go ahead and give The Woman in the Window a C-. What did you guys think of The Woman in the Window? Let me know in your comments down below. And while you're down there, if you like this video, please like it as well and subscribe to my channel. I would love that. Thank you. Mwah! Thank you so much for coming and checking out Mr. Teach Film Preach. I have lots of other films on here like Mortal Kombat, Without Remorse, and Those Who Wish Me Dead are all up here. Come back and check out some more of those. Enjoy the nice, beautiful spring weather as we head into summertime blockbuster season. Can't wait. Stay safe and healthy out there. And as always, let's get taught.